You recently said on an interview with Alex Wagner, I think she asked you about why you're polling a little bit below Greg Abbott among women, and your response was, "I truly do not understand how women can support my opponent," and you addressed some specifics about abortion and equal pay as reasons why. Many women feel patronized by the notion that they're members of a monolithic voting bloc that's supposed to vote certain way on certain issues and only care about women's issues, which a lot of women don't like that. I don't know how you feel about that. But there are many intelligent and thoughtful women throughout the state who have examined these issues and other issues like education, taxes, and the economy, and they've arrived at different conclusions. How, as governor, would you represent all women, not just those who share your viewpoints on those kinds of issues, after making a comment that some might feel doesn't understand or doesn't fully respect a differing viewpoint?
Well, certainly as a woman, I understand that my values and those of other women are not limited to a few specific issues, certainly not limited to questions about reproductive rights or equal pay, though those are very, very important to many, many women. The comments that I made about Greg Abbott's perspectives on those, I think women ought to consider. He does have an extreme perspective on reproductive rights, and that women ought not to even be able to make that decision, as I said earlier, in cases of rape and incest. He has said that he will veto an equal pay for equal work bill in this state, knowing that we are one of only a very few handful of states who do not have our own equal pay law. But it's so much broader than that, and it's all of the things that we've been talking about today. Do we want a governor who is going to make sure that our schools are appropriately funded and that our children have an opportunity? Or do we want a governor who's been in court for the last 3 years fighting to keep those funding cuts in place, even though, to the contrary of what he said publicly, there is nothing that requires him to do that? Do we want a governor who is heading up a party whose platform in this last platform passage literally included as part of its platform that one of its goals was the continued defunding of education at all levels, pre-K, K through 12, and the public university system? Or do we want someone who understands that that's going to sell out our children and shortchange the future of this state? Do we want someone who cares enough about the economy to know that if we don't invest in education, we aren't going to have the workforce of tomorrow? And I can tell you from sitting in the Texas Senate Education Committee and listening to employers literally imploring us to do something about the outcomes and the workforce that they have the opportunity to hire from, I can tell you that we have a real problem on our hands. I am running for governor because I know I will be good for the Texas economy. And I know that I am the person who is going to take Texas forward to the 21st century economy with a trained workforce and with the use of economic development funds and tools that are going to help us stay competitive around this country, and I'm going to do it responsibly and transparently.